Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today. Sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we are back talking Carlos King. As you know, he has been on a press tour, and we are seeing, because obviously Love and Marriage Huntsville is going to come up, and we need to see if he is going to be, addressing, if Love and Marriage Huntsville comes up, who is the reason why all of this is happening, all of this is manifesting, all of this has taken off, and everything else. And hopefully Newsweek does not give me any viruses like EUR Web did. Check out that video I just uploaded, y'all, if y'all have not already. So Carlos King is on a press tour promoting Kingdom Reign Entertainment, y'all. And so what happened was, he is using his Instagrammies to set the scene. So he's saying, "Thank you, Newsweek, for spotlighting me and my production company, Kingdom Reign Entertainment, and to the wonderful journalist, the lady who interviewed him, for the fantastic interview. And want you to swipe to get all the tea and to get all the intel and the sewing and the so ons and the so forths of it all." And then he also says on the Instagrammies, "Reality with the King is the place to be, is the place to open up and to be seen and heard. Catch my latest interview with Angela Yee, available now on my YouTube channel. Raindrops, who do y'all want me to interview next? Tag them below, y'all." And so we're going to get right into it. And Carlos King is saying the following. So this is now Newsweek. "When it comes to reality television, Carlos King is undoubtedly one of the most influential minds in the genre. As the CEO of Kingdom Reign Entertainment, he has produced some of the most talked about shows shaping the landscape of unscripted television. From his groundbreaking work on Real Housewives of Atlanta to creating hit series like Love and Marriage Huntsville, King's journey from behind-the-scenes producer to media mogul has been nothing short of remarkable. His ability to craft compelling narratives and showcase diverse perspectives has positioned him as a leading industry force." King, who had left college after being offered a production assistant job at BET, got his break in the business in 2008, and that is when he became an associate producer on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. "A little show you may have heard about," he told Newsweek. "It was my first reality show. Real Housewives of Atlanta became an instant hit, and I sort of climbed the ladder. I had every single position up until becoming the first black man to executive produce a Real Housewives franchise, which was in season 6. I just kept falling in love with the ladies, the production, and the audience. After accomplishing so much with the franchise and believing he had done everything he could with it, King said he felt divinely guided to move on." No, Carlos King, I'm gonna stop you right there. No. Roja season 9 was it was an epic. It led to epic consequences for a lot of people, for you and for Phaedra Parks, and even to an extent, Portia got the brunt of it the following season, since Phaedra, nobody wanted to film with Phaedra the following season. No, Carlos King. This was not your choice, because of the fact that you continue to do content with Bravo celebrities, and you continue to obsess over all these reality shows on Bravo, even more so paying attention more to them than you are to your alleged shows on OWN, speaks volumes. And you even just admitted that you are still pitching shows to Bravo to this day. So if they offered you any type of role at Bravo, you are running back there quick, fast, in a hurry. No. I can't believe you said you felt divinely guided to move on. Oh my goodness. Despite his success, he felt there was a gap in the industry where there were not enough Black-owned production companies creating these types of shows. I'm very ambitious, but I also believe in God's time, and here we go, inserting God into this. No, not inserting God into the destruction of these shows that y'all like to glorify, of having these Black women out here looking crazy. No, not God's timing, the Detroit native said. God has this thing where he whispers to you, and you have to be still in order to hear the small, still voice. I was doing that, and God just kept saying to me, Carlos, you need to move on. I know you're happy. You're making all this money. All of that was great, but I knew that there was more for me. When I decided to leave the show, here we go. Some people might argue about this. I wanted to be somebody who was an agent of change, not an agent of chaos. Carlos King is claiming he's an agent of change. And that's what led me to create my production company, Kingdom Reign Entertainment. His first major project under Kingdom Reign was Hollywood Divas for TV1. Child. The series gave Black actresses, including Golden Brooks, Paula J. Walker, and Anise Neal, who had that lawsuit against you, Carlos King, Countess Vaughn, and Lisa Wu, a platform to share their personal journeys, and ran for 3 seasons, helping to establish King's company as a major player in the industry. He has since to go on to build a diverse portfolio of projects, but one of his biggest successes, which has been the Love and Marriage franchise, which launched with Love and Marriage Huntsville in 2019 on OWN. All right, so here it comes in the article. Let's see if Carlos King is going to acknowledge Melody Cherie Rogers' contributions. Heck, acknowledge Melody and Martell bringing the show to him in the first place. And without them, this wouldn't be happening. And him encouraging them to get the other couples on board to be on their show. Let's see if he acknowledges it. Which launched in 2019 on OWN. The concept for the show was born from King's vision to make the reality TV landscape richer in representation. What? The show's concept was what Mel and Martell brought to you. What are we talking about? That it was born from King's vision to make the reality TV landscape richer in representation. If Mel and Martell never met with you, there is no Love and Marriage Huntsville. What are we talking about? Make it make sense. He says he's an openly gay Black man in this business where there is not a lot of us. So my mission statement when I created Kingdom Reign Entertainment was to make sure I told diverse stories that could be diverse in race, sexuality, but also diverse in terms of an equal playing field when it comes to men and women sharing the spotlight on television. And it's appropriate to make gay allegations willy-nilly out here. And just say GROOMING allegations and RAPE gate allegations like that is just okay, Carlos King. That is what you want diverse to be. Love and Marriage Huntsville was created because after coming from Housewives and Hollywood Divas, I wanted to do a show where men have great perspectives too. No. Mel and Martell. Child. What? I wanted to do a show where men have great perspectives too. I don't think husbands are just somebody who comes into the kitchen to observe. Carlos, be for real right now. One thing I know about couples, pillow talk is an all-time high, and men have strong opinions about their ladies' friends. Well, the one thing that was correct, Carlos King, is that on Love and Marriage Huntsville, all these men do is regurgitate the pillow talk and everything else. And instead of the women holding their husbands and holding their men accountable, they go after the other wives for it, right? They blame everything on the wives, like they blamed everything on Mel when it was Martell spilling everybody else's tea because he was upset that he was exposed for the cheating. The show became a ratings powerhouse for OWN, paving the way for multiple spinoffs. Again, I still see no mention of Mel. No mention of Melody Cherie Rogers. With Kingdom Reign now responsible for nearly 70% of OWN's original programming hours over the last year, King's impact on the network is undeniable. His work extends beyond OWN. He has collaborated with major networks like Netflix, producing Styling Hollywood. Is that even still on? Because didn't you say in another interview that it was ahead of its time? I just read the other interview. You said it was ahead of its time.
And you said you guys weren't getting the views, you weren't getting the metrics, and Netflix is a global streaming company. BET with BET Presents The Encore, but that's not on anymore either. And Lifetime's My Killer Body with K. Michelle, is that still on? King's ability to tell diverse and engaging stories has been a driving force behind his success. I'm most proud of what I've created, a safe space. Child, what is going on? Where is the safe space, you guys? Oh my gosh, this interview, oh my gosh. I have created a safe space to give people of color the opportunity to tell their stories. So it is okay for people to just come on the show and just tell anything they want to tell, so that they don't have to tell their real lives. And it doesn't matter how damaging it is, and it doesn't matter if it's a lie. And you had a whole storyline about YouTubers and about MEL supporting channels and millimeters and everything else, and you just wanted to rip this woman apart. I think this is the most fruitful blessing that I have in terms of creating a space for that for people in front of the camera. So why are all these black women, Carlos King, quitting your shows? Why did Aisha quit your show? Why did So Gucci quit your show? Why did Winter quit your show? Why did Monique quit your show? Why did Melody Cherie Rogers quit your show? Why did, Latrice low-key call out production, call it out to your face and everything else, and you did nothing? Why did Marie call out production from Bell Collective as well and had to backtrack and walk it back? I mean, who else was she talking about? Like there's too many issues. Talking about this is the most fruitful blessing I have in terms of creating a space for people in front of the camera. But behind the cameras, I have a large, diverse group of producers who come from all walks of life. To know that I have given opportunities to people of color to be first-time executives, first-time producers, I grow my own team to excel in their own endeavors. Stepping in front of the camera, in recent years, King has made his own moves from behind the scenes with his hit podcast and YouTube series, Reality with the King, a shift that started when he was encouraged to host the reunion for the first successful season of Hollywood Divas. That put my face on the map, King said. I started to ride the wave by doing more speaking engagements. It was definitely something that I said, okay, I'm good at this. I think the audience likes me. Let me see where this can go. Thankfully, it's been rewarding, but also challenging. The move proved fruitful, and now King hosts reunions for Love and Marriage and Bell Collective, which follows the lives of a group of businesswomen, twice weekly episodes of his podcast, which drops on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and YouTube live segments every Monday. It is called Monday Night Live, Carlos King said. But I thought that it was previously, what was it called? It was called, he had the thing with Dr. Heavenly and him, right? And they didn't like that. And then he had the Mr. Mondays, right? Oh, wasn't it Messy Mondays, right? It was Messy Mondays with Dr. Heavenly. Then she departed, and then it was Mr. Mondays, right? And then it was, I think it was like a reality TV recap or something. Now he's calling it Monday Night Live, and said every Monday I talk to my fans, called the Raindrops. We get 50,000 to 70,000 views per episode weekly. So I drop 3 episodes a week. I run a production company. We're in current production on my shows right now. I have to do meetings for the networks. Interesting. Do meetings with my producers. I've got to watch these episodes and get my notes on it. No, Carlos King. You do not take notes on these episodes because you already have a built-in bias depending on what your relationship is with certain stars on the show. So therefore, you utilize either Dustin or Claudia Jordan or Dr. Heavenly or somebody else to do the bidding for you. You do not take notes on anything because you already know what's going on. And depending on whether or not they have fallen out with you or not is going to depend on whether or not positive things are going to be said about said cast member, which is not right. So nonetheless, he says, I've got to watch these episodes, get my notes on it, but because I love what I do, it doesn't feel like work. Of course it doesn't feel like work. You like being messy and tormenting these people's lives and not giving a crap and only want to call out the foolishness and BS when it's against the people who are willing to do the production's dirty work of not telling their real lives and creating chaos for whatever cast member you have beef with. Stepping into the spotlight has not been without its challenges. Being in front of the camera has a lot of blessings. There's a lot of pros with it. The cons are obviously, I wasn't prepared for people to just make stuff up about me. Who's making stuff up about you, Carlos King? Please let us know. Who is making up things about you? Please let us know. I want to know what was made up about Carlos King. That was sort of weird. No one prepares you for that until it happens, and it's a gut punch. So why is it okay, Carlos King, for people to make up things about Melody Cherie Rogers and say it as fact on the show? Accuse her of having a BBL, accusing her of being besties with Martel's concubine, accusing Mel of GROOMING, Destiny on the show, and everything else. How is all of that okay, Carlos King, if you just said you weren't prepared for people to just make up stuff about you? Who is making up stuff about you, Carlos King? People are reacting to the chaos that your shows cause. Make sense. And he says, thank God I am spiritual. Okay, see, here we go. So really you're not religious. You're not religious. You are, child. Here we go. Thank God I'm spiritual and I have my faith, so I'm able to understand this isn't real. These are a bunch of strangers who just want to see you in this way. No. See, keeping it real, Carlos King, you don't like criticism. You don't like being held accountable. And anytime somebody does it and they still happen to be on your show, they get dragged through the mud on the following seasons of your show, or you try to cut them off and gaslight them and make them to sound like they're the ones that are lying on you. You never take accountability. You never take responsibility. Kempire exposed on, the Surviving Carlos King series, how you treat people, and you don't like it. You don't like when you're exposed. You only like yes people around you. You only like people who are going to adhere to what you say. And the moment Mel refused for you to be her manager, when you saw the success of Money Making Mel and Mogul Making Mel, you saw what the potential was about to be, the millions Mel was about to come into, and everything else. After already being a millionaire before reality TV, she turned you down and you decided to turn on Mel. And then you are trying to act like Bobo the Fool, like I don't know why Mel would leave the show. I don't know why that would happen. No. Talking about, thank God I'm spiritual, I have my faith, so I'm able to understand that this isn't real. These are a bunch of strangers who just want to see you in this way. They may join in on negative conversations. No. But it's okay for you to be a part of leading the charge on certain negative conversations if it's about people you don't like. And then if it's one of your friends who's getting dragged, you put on the cape for them and ignore their problematic behavior. Make it make sense. They may join in on negative conversations, but you know who you are, and you have to always stay focused. So that is something that I always tell myself. That is easier said than done. However, it is the best advice that I give my reality stars. And when the tables are turned, I say, I got to practice what I preach. Child, why did they include the picture of that NAACP thing with the Scotch 1.0 and 2.0 and Carlos King? No, Mel is nowhere to be found. Neither Martel either. Staying true to oneself. There's like random ads popping up on Newsweek's website. Reality with the King continues to be popular in Apple's podcast charts, but the media mogul refuses to chase trends to stay ahead of the curve, and instead preferring to listen to his gut when deciding which guests to pursue for the show and which concepts to develop for reality TV. No, I disagree, Carlos King. You're using an outdated model for reality TV. That's why you're getting so many complaints and so many negative things. Nene Leakes already called it out years ago that your business model is for the entire cast to attack the star of the show. And that essentially you tell the people allegedly behind the scenes that if you want screen time, you have to go after the star of the show. And you allegedly put people on ice, such as Sunny Meeks and others, if you do not like them being friends with the star of the show that you plan to attack. That if Sunny was against Mel, she would have continued to film the show. That's not appropriate. That is not okay. And I believe that's the same thing that happened with Sweet Tea. Since Sweet Tea did not go along with what Dr. Heavenly and them wanted, they decided to give her the axe. And because they reunited with Quad, also who are friends with Carlos King. So then he's claiming he's not chasing trends and trying to stay ahead of the curve and trying to listen to his guts on which guests to pursue, which is not, no. The beauty of my audience, they're very diverse. It's funny because my audio podcast listeners are largely white people, and my YouTube channel is largely viewed by black people. But in both arenas, I don't code switch for the audio. I'm just me. And see, that's what Carlos King rides on, right? He rides on the fact that his white audience does not know what happens for real on his black shows. So when he is gassing up these Bravo celebrities that are on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, that are on the Real Housewives of OC and everything else, they don't know what is going on at all, right? So he feels that he can separate the chaos and the madness of it all and can cater to that audience, right? But meanwhile, it's nothing but foolishness and tomfoolery on the YouTubes and on the OWN network, and it's not okay. He says that he's just me. As long as I remain myself, I feel like I can have what we call in the business the Oprah effect, which is what she's had the #1 talk show for 25 consecutive years, and she never changed who she was. I don't want to cater to the younger audience by bringing in this young person who I don't have a connection with. You see a lot of podcast hosts who just want to interview anybody, and I'm sure their team is saying, interview this person, they have 20 million followers, and they have a young demographic. I don't look at myself that way. I look at myself in terms of if I'm not intrigued or curious, my audience is going to say, Carlos, you're phoning this interview in. I'm known as the guy that asks the questions for the people. Well, Carlos King, come on now. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Are you really answering the questions for the people, or are you only asking certain questions that is going to contribute to mess? With the continued success of Love and Marriage Detroit, where's the success of 6 or 8 episodes? Make it make sense. Which returned on April 12th, and new projects in development, Carlos King shows no signs of slowing down. We're greenlit for another season of Bell Collective, so the bells are back and they're ringing, he teased, and I can't wait for you guys to see that. And of course, many other things. I will wait until the network announces because I don't like to get in trouble, but we're cooking up some great things. So this sounds like Carlos King has some other new shows that are coming up on the pipeline, but let me reread this to you. Confirms that Bell Collective is back and that Bell Collective is greenlit for a new season, is hyping up Love and Marriage Detroit, even though we don't know whether or not that's going to be renewed, but it doesn't say anything about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Y'all peep that, right? So we'll see what happens. But nonetheless, there's that. Once again, no credit to Mel at all. No credit to Money Making Mel. Featuring a picture of the Scots 1.0 and 2.0 is diabolical. And just no credit to Mel. Not even giving credit to Martel. For if it wasn't for them, exposing their tea and everything else, this show wouldn't have lasted for no 9 seasons. Because you said yourself you were ready to fire these other people on the show because they were not giving. But the moment that they turned on Mel, the moment that they did all this other foolishness, then all of a sudden it was okay. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. So there is that. That is all I got, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.